It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction being the Yo 282. Day in the neighborhood. My brothers and sisters. It is Tuesday once again, y'all. It is Tuesday. So y'all know who we finna go back to. Mike from that chapter. Going back to Mike, y'all. Hope y'all doing excelente out there today. And I'm glad that y'all came on back to the channel once again to fuck with the bean. Now, the title of the video. Jealousy drives siblings to plan murderous ambush. Tim McNeil. Now, the thing that's sticking out from this title to me is it says siblings to plan murderous ambush. Siblings is the word I'm stuck on because it sounds like this is a group of family members who doing this shit. It's one thing, y'all, for somebody in your family to be a murderer, but when you got multiple people in your family who murderers, it's like, God damn, I was born into some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, my sister and brother a murderer. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn. I digress though, man. We really finna see what this story like. But before we check it out, my people, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you might need. Get what you need. We back to Mike from that chapter once again. Y'all got what y'all need? Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go.
Hey you and welcome. My name is Mike and in this old video we have an insane story. Guano full blown for you lads, and it takes us to San Diego. It's a story of bitterness, of jealousy, but instead of, hey, be a big boy and pull up those old bootstraps, they instead decided to pull a fast one on everyone that surrounded them, including the police. And there was a lot of them. And that is when the layers got pulled back one by one until you reach a point where it resembles nothing what it looks like on the surface. Let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go. And get whatever you might need.
So if you know San Diego, and maybe you do, you might know Rolando Village. But let's presume you don't. Rolando Village is a neighborhood suburb of San Diego, California. It's full of houses and, quite frankly, F all else. It's kind of a maze. I mean, I'm using Google Maps and I'm still getting lost. But you know what? It's grand. Regular ass neighborhood for regular ass folk like you and like me. I mean, I'm presuming you are. Maybe you're not. I don't know anything about you. Tell me about yourself. But let's say you are. And you know who else is, or rather were, the McNeil family. Well, kind of, I mean, you'll see. It's like a blended family, but let's just keep it simple. The year was 2007, and living in a beautiful house in Rolando was 63-year-old Tim McNeil, his partner Kim, and 17-year-old Bray Hansen. Tim and Kim were dating, had been for almost a year at this point, and were living together. Also living in the house was Bray Hansen, who was Tim's stepdaughter. Tim was originally from Montreal, Canada, if you can believe that, but he grew up in San Diego. After graduating San Diego University, he went on to study law, working for 6 years in the San Diego District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor before going on to set up his own private practice, specializing in criminal law and family law. This is a story that involves both of them. In 1968, he married Barbara, and together they'd have 2 children, Erin and Kelly. Sadly, Kelly would pass away as a baby, but they would divorce Tim and Barbara after 25 years, nigh on 25 years of marriage. And Tim would marry again to a woman named Doreen Hansen. And Doreen, she had 2 children from a previous relationship. But when Tim and Doreen married, I mean Tim, he became father to her 2 children. There was Nathan and Bray. Nathan was 3 years older than Bray, but so Tim's stepfather, coming in, he was awesome. He was there for these 2 stepkids. I mean, he called them his children. They called him dad. So they were a happy little family for many years. Tim, an attentive stepdad to Nathan and Bray. Sadly, however, in 2006, Doreen passed away by her own hand. She'd been battling depression for a long time.
Damn.
Tim, he later found love with Kim, and Bray, she stayed with her stepdad. Nathan, the son, he had moved to Arizona when he was 12 to live with his grandmother. So it was the 19th of July 2007, the day after Tim, hotshot criminal defense attorney in San Diego, it was the day after he turned 63 years of age. He was out the door that morning, out for work as he always was, but he was coming back in the afternoon for lunch, to have lunch at home with his stepdaughter Bray. He doted over her. It was then that this call was made.
Please, Christine, 911.
Please, I think we've been robbed. I'm tied up and my dad's been shot.
What's your name?
Bray,
Bray, how old are you?
I'm 17.
Your dad needs paramedics?
I think he's dead.
Okay, Bray, where's the person that shot your dad?
I don't know, he ran off.
Okay, and he came into your house and did this?
Yes.
All right, and who was he? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay, was he white, black, Hispanic?
He was all covered from head to toe. Yes, for the combinations of the safe.
What'd your dad do?
He refused. And then he shot him. He had me zip-tied my dad.
Oh, he zip-tied you? All right, Bray, you're doing good. And when he talked, did he have an accent or anything?
No, only just disguised as voice like a cartoon character. He shot him in the head at least once. I know because there's blood pouring out of his head.
Grim and...
There's one thing, y'all, about these situations that just make, even though she the daughter, stepdaughter, you know what I'm saying, it just make them seem so fucking suspicious. Because, number one, why would the robbers come in there and kill the daddy but not kill you? Kill your daddy but not kill you? Why would a robber come in there and kill anybody and still leave witnesses alive? You know what I'm saying? That just make that shit suspicious as fuck. And the number two reason is that she claimed that the robber made her zip tie her dad. Did the robber zip tie you? She said she was tied up. Long story short story long. Her story sound like bullshit. But the real point I was trying to get across is that whenever these people call 911 and claim that somebody in their house got killed, but I'm miraculously alive and the killer just killed them and then just ran off, it's hard as fuck to believe for me. I'm already leaning towards she might got something to do with it. But let's see.
Graphic. Tim and Bray had been having lunch as usual when someone broke in, violently attempted to rob them, and then executed Tim. Didn't appear that the robbery was successful or they got much at all. And he sounded like a cartoon character. Where was Mickey Mouse when this crime occurred? Tim, a beloved guy, easygoing, could talk to anyone. Father to Aaron, stepfather to Nathan and Bray. Killed at home. The police rushed over. When they arrived, they found the back door open and a handgun, the likely murder weapon, laying just outside. The killer had dropped it as they fled. And Tim was just inside, lying face down in a pool of his own blood. Bray zip-tied, hands behind her back, just hysterical. So according to Bray, a masked man came in, with a cartoon voice, because that's important I guess, came in, tried to access the safe in the house, was unable to, and so executed Tim. And witnesses, after they heard some gunshots, they saw a figure running through, the backyards of the houses that surround and through like the winding passageways that make up this entire hilly kind of canyony area.
It makes me so sad. It's just the saddest thing.
Just steps from Natalie Swanson's house, gunshots break the calm on Morocco Drive.
I heard what sounded like 4 or 5 shots.
A man in his early 60s, killed in his own home.
It appears to be an attempted robbery at this point.
Steve Idy says his wife saw the suspect take off through the back door, drop his gun, and scale a steep canyon.
He came on the side of the house and then right through and onto our driveway.
He then crossed this street, walked all the way up this staircase. That was the last time he was seen, forcing police to close down all the streets in this normally quiet neighborhood.
A neighborhood canvass began, and even though witnesses saw a figure, he had disappeared. But what they did find was what they believed the killer had worn, discarded. A black shirt and black ski mask. So, was it related to Tim's practice? Criminal defense attorney, had he I don't know, somebody unhappy, right? Maybe one of those criminals like I hear so much about wanted vengeance. They wanted vengeance and they wanted to rob what they presumed was a rich old San Diego, lawyer. They got half of what they wanted. Or what about the new belle, Kim? Well, it was proven she was in work at the time, so. Bray, she then went to live with Tim's brother after the murder. Okay, so this is when things start to get weird though with our key witness. Well, unusual that witness would survive. And Bray, well, the same day she witnessed the man who raised her, essentially, be brutally executed, she made a few odd statements to the police. One was that when she was recounting and making her statement to the police, she referred to this masked intruder by name at one point. Nathan was the name. And when the police were like, hey, what did you say his name was? She was like, his name is Masked Intruder. And then sketches were made of this killer. Sketches were made based on the witnesses of people, the people who had seen this guy running through the gardens and the passageways. So they were able to get, after he'd taken off the ski mask, upon fleeing the house. And so Bray was shown that sketch at one point, and she said, no, his chin is too big in that image. I thought he said he was wearing a mask. Tim's brother called the police.
Bro, this bitch getting caught up in so many lies, bro. I'm the first one. She told on damn Nathan. She literally said the man fucking name. And I forgot to mention earlier about the cartoon voice shit. And then that one right there, man, she got... Man, this lady here, bro, she is just getting caught up, bro. She getting caught the fuck up, bro. And... It's to the point where I feel like she gonna be one of the ones that gonna swear by. You know how we done seen plenty of cases of these type of lies that lie so goddamn much they start believing they shit, or they just do not. They just believe that what they saying is real. They start actually in their brain and they trying to push it out to the universe, but the universe ain't accepting it. She might end up being one of these types, but goddamn, lady, she need to stop talking. She need to just say, I need to speak to a lawyer, because she telling on herself.
When he realized what she was saying, or rather what she was lying about. First she was saying he was masked, now she was able to tell people what his face looked like, and now she was saying a name. The name of her brother. Bray switched from victim to suspect the day of, and she was arrested for first-degree murder that night.
Drops off some change, I hear, walks back out. I can tell he's walking downstairs, and by this time I'm freaking out because I know what's about to happen, and I'm just, yeah.
You follow him down like you're supposed to.
But I followed him down, and my brother acted like he didn't know me at all. He just pointed the gun at me and said, you, tie him. So I tied him, but I didn't tie him very tightly, hoping that he'd escape. He was like, Nathan, don't do this, you can go back now, I promise I won't call the cops or anything, blah, 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 blah. I was like, Nathan, maybe we should listen to him. And actually I said, maybe you should listen to him, because at this point my dad didn't know I was involved. And he was like, no, whatever, and I don't know exactly how this part happened because it happened so fast, but I think my dad lunged at him and tried to get the gun, and I kind of turned away and was just freaking out majorly, and I heard a gunfire, and I looked back, and I saw my dad saying, you've shot me, you've killed me.
Did you watch all this? Okay.
Yeah.
Must have been pretty traumatic.
It's just a little.
Remarkably calm the entire time, and she was pretty much...
Did that bitch say, well, just a little when they just said, did you watch all this? Should have been pretty traumatic. This bitch said, well, just a little. Okay, now we just know that you just don't give a fuck. You one of them crazy motherfuckers that ain't got no remorse for nothing, and I hope your ass get the death penalty. And you ain't your goddamn Nathan shit.
Upfront with it, being like, well, this is what happened. Just a little traumatic, though, Not nothing too big. Yes, we murdered my stepdad. Any questions?
And he ran out, and I was just still freaking out. And so I went over and I dialed 911.
How'd you dial 911?
With my tongue. I saw him twitch a couple of times, and it totally freaked me out. And I heard him sounded like he was snoring.
I'm just curious what you think should happen to you.
No. I don't think I should be charged with murder.
You think you should be charged with anything?
I had some plan, so yes. It did kind of start the whole thing, even if it was, I don't know. lapse of judgment or whatever.
What do you think you should be held accountable then for your involvement?
I do and I don't, because I'm usually not like this.
She's usually not like this, lads. She was just having an off day. She'll be grand. Give her a sup of tea and a ham sandwich and she'll be okay. She was right about the cartoon character, by the way.
The killer was a damn cartoon character.
And before we continue, let me just mention that this whole video is sponsored.
This bitch is unbelievable, y'all. What in the fuck, man? Some of these people, man, what in the hell, bro? This bitch thinks she don't supposed to get charged with nothing. Because I don't usually do this. Man, that ain't got nothing to do with what you did. Man, I hope she get at least life sentence, y'all. At least a life sentence, man. This is crazy. The way she talking, like she just don't even fucking care that they killed that man. Let's go right here.
So please click the link below and use code CHAPTER to get 35% off your first order and then 20% off all orders. Thank you so much to Beam for sponsoring this whole video, and to Dream, which, well, I mean, it does exactly what it says in the tin. The chocolate peanut butter, by the way, real good. Now, let's get back into it. Nathan Gann lived in Arizona, and he made a lot of YouTube videos, though only a handful remain. Stuff like, well, this.
Hello there, YouTube people. My name is Nathan Gann. I go by TW Naru. I play lots of games online, Battle.net and such. This is my first blog, and I know I'm all messy here. I just decided today, it's the middle of the summer, between semesters of college, that, hey, why not get out there and make some videos, do something useful for my, maybe not useful, but interesting. Maybe random people will see this, friends, family, maybe I'll become a hit, who knows, I'll be the next Numa Numa. Who knows, anyway. I'm not going to sit here and argue about how the Earth was created, if it was by God, or if it was by how we determine scientific means, how gravity pulls matter together and makes planets. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, but we can go ahead and you can pull the religion card.
Or this. Dancing on YouTube. I wouldn't be caught dead doing that. Nathan was living in Arizona. He was studying at the University of Arizona, but Bray was saying that he was a cold-blooded killer. Together they had planned all this out. They had talked about different ways, they thought it could be done. They thought about, how about we get a baseball bat? How about we try and poison him? How about we hire a hitman? And they actually tried to, but the hitman never showed up. Bray, of course, said she later tried to back out of the whole murder plot. That wasn't until Nathan rocked up to the house with a mask and a gun and was locked and loaded and ready to go. Police in Arizona busted down Nathan's door in the middle of the night and hauled his ass into the station. He was arrested for murder, along with his little sister. It makes no sense. Like, what, to murder the man who raised them? There was, like, a little bit more. Nathan initially denied, saying, he initially denied the whole thing, saying he was never even in California.
I need a lawyer. This is too powerful. This is just... I'm trying to tell you guys I wasn't involved. This is the most important hour of your entire life. And you know what else? We told Bray the same thing. She made the right decision. Don't let your little sister take the whole rap for this. Tell us your side of the story. Tell us your side of the story. Like, what the hell? Like, your little sister killed your dad? Your little sister, you're gonna let her? I didn't see anything. You're gonna let her out try for this whole thing? I didn't do anything, though. Your sister's gonna fall for this whole thing because you won't man up and act like the big brother you're supposed to act like.
But he soon gave in, though, when the police told him Bray was already talking and his DNA had been found on the ski mask. His story of events was pretty much the same as what Bray had told.
How'd you feel, Nathan, when he went down? I just didn't want to do you better than the year. I didn't want to lose my dad.
You'll also notice that his reaction...
You didn't want to lose your dad, but you the one who killed him. Boy, this whole goddamn family fucked up. I'm sad as fuck. I hate that man even got involved with this family. He should have never played stepdaddy to these two motherfuckers. Oh my God, bro. Like, I ain't being funny when I say that, y'all. He should have never goddamn started playing stepdaddy to them. These two motherfuckers is crazy, man. He said, and he basically said, I don't even want my dad to die, but I'm the one who killed him. Like, what the fuck? Y'all not even making sense, man. And Another dumbass thing that mentioned way earlier was the fact that the person who killed him dumped their clothes in the woods. What are you doing? You trying to get caught? You leaving evidence, bro. You might well have left it at the damn house. Man, let's go.
To Tim's death, a little bit different to Bray's.
You're gonna be okay, Nathan. I think that I survived. I don't even know if I think I deserve to get person anymore. Are you saying that you didn't mean to kill him? I mean, I was angry, but no. You don't want him to die. I didn't want him to die. I wanted him to be scared. I wanted him to be honest. I wanted him to honestly feel like take me seriously for a change.
When Tim entered Nathan and Bray's life proper, when their mother Doreen married him, Nathan was 6, Bray was 4. Bray, sweet kid. Nathan, not exactly the same. In fact, after a few years, he moved to Arizona to live with his grandmother, and there he remained. Thing is, both Nathan and Bray would say their mother was Doreen. She was not a great person, not a, no ding-dings for her. She was a depressive alcoholic who took her troubles out on her children. She was abusive to them. To both of them. No wonder Nathan was a problem child. He had escaped to Arizona. In fact, people say when he got to Arizona, it was like somebody flicked a switch. In 2006, Doreen passed away after overdosing on sleeping pills, and not much love was lost. Thing is though, Tim was a bright spot for both Nathan and Bray. A bright spot that swiftly dwindled when 4 months after Doreen died, Tim met somebody else. Tim met Kim. Bray was jealous over his new girlfriend, a jealousy that ended in murder.
Why did you guys kill your dad? Why did you even plan it?
Nathan's reasons were purely monetary. With me, it wasn't really about the money. It was just I was really, really pissed off at my dad. He basically made me feel like I was nothing, that I was not worth anything, that I, didn't matter. He was basically going to cut me out of his life completely. I knew he had already chosen his girlfriend over me, and it hurt. It was really bad because this is the man that I thought loved me and was my dad.
Do you feel somewhat relief that he's dead? How do you feel?
Guilt.
When you say guilt, like what do you...
I'm sad I did it. I can't believe I did it. I'm disappointed in myself. I feel like I screwed up my life.
You think you screwed up your life? I hope they finna end your damn life. How about that? How about we put you in that damn chair and end your fucking life? Crazy, man. This shit, man. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's go.
Bray was saying she was forced into the murder, that she tried to back out of it, but the night before, Nathan had showed up in her bedroom with a gun and saying, listen, if you try and back out of this, you're going to end up the same way Tim's going to end up. Nathan was saying he wasn't even in California that day. He had nothing to do with it, completely not guilty. Now, the footage I showed you of him confessing...
I know the thing that with your hands behind your back. He tried to jerk away or lunge or something. Tried to take...
That's interesting. You can essentially forget it. Wipe that from your mind. Because that came up. Or rather, it didn't come up at all. Nathan was saying Bray did it all. He wasn't involved, as both would go on trial. Bray saying it was Nathan's idea, Nathan saying it was Bray's jealousy that masterminded it. And they were saying that, Nathan had even been promised 15% of the inheritance Bray would receive if he went ahead and did it. Because of course it's always about good old...
fucking life insurance. Every time.
They both went on trial initially separately.
Record in the case of People versus Nathaniel Gann.
In 2008, Nathan was up to bat first.
Going to conclude at the end of this case is that Timothy McNeil was not killed by a masked intruder.
And it resulted in a mistrial. Which is insane because I've shown you footage of him confessing to exactly how he murdered Tim, right?
Yeah, try to take it out. And what happened?
That footage was not allowed at trial. It was ruled inadmissible because this happened.
Well, you guys won't tell me what happened. I'm trying to ask. Good luck. For the time being, I'll waive my right to an attorney for now, again, until for further notice.
He asked for an attorney, and they didn't get him one. And they were not supposed to keep talking to him, but they did. Even though after he waived his right to an attorney, it didn't matter. They didn't re-Mirandize him also, which they should have done. So that essentially made his entire confession inadmissible. Essentially, the only evidence they had was the ski mask. He pleaded not guilty. The jury never heard him confessing to him doing it. These little technicalities, lads. Fuck them.
The two.
God damn, bro. Them goddamn police or investigators, whoever did the interrogation, they fucked up bad, man. They fucked up bad, bro. They couldn't even use none of that in the courtroom because of when that man said, I need a lawyer, they kept talking to him, man. I don't agree with none of these dumbass rules and shit. But I'm just saying, they knew they should have played by the rules. They fucked up, man. Oh, man, this man might get off, y'all. He might actually get off without doing more than a couple of years, maybe.
I'm almost pulled it off.
The prosecutor spells out how he believes Bray Hansen and Nathan Gann almost got away with murder.
She tells him, I was involved. I started this. I planned this. I'm the one that got the gun. I'm the one that got the key. I'm the one that got the money.
Angry with her stepfather, the defense attorney admits that Hansen called her brother in Phoenix, and the two devised a plan to kill their stepfather, Timothy McNeil.
Later, Nathan and Bree went on trial together, but with two different juries. Both blamed the other, saying they were forced into the murder plot. Bray was worried he would kill her if she didn't go through with it.
He pointed the gun at her and said, you are going to end up like Tim if you try to stop this.
Nathan saying he wasn't even there that day. After a 3-week trial, Nathan was found guilty of first-degree murder.
Madam Clerk, please read the verdicts.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Nathaniel Marcus Gann, guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree.
A mandatory life sentence, minimum 25 years. Bray was also found guilty of first-degree murder, but also of a gun charge and a special circumstance of lying in wait, ambushing him, that she was their mastermind. She was sentenced to life without parole. And so ends the case of Tim McNeil. I mean, Tim never did anything wrong at all. It seems like almost his entire life. He was the one guy doing things right, and it ended up costing him his life. He was there for his stepchildren, a parental figure when their mother was so abusive. And they murdered him for being too good, for setting too high a standard, for setting a standard even he himself could not live up to. So when Tim wanted to finally find his own happiness, not today, pal. That resulted in jealousy by these bitter, narcissistic, self-centered pieces of shit who, as soon as Tim looked away to try and find his own happiness, I mean, both Nathan and Bray were saying Doreen was a horrible mother who was abusive to him. I can't imagine that. She was an extremely great wife to Tim. Tim wanted to just finally find happiness after raising these two kids and giving them all the love. He finally wanted to find some for himself. As soon as he looked away, they shot him in the head.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about my dad and hate the decisions that I made.
Bray Hansen plotted to kill her stepdad here in this Rolando home with her brother as a triggerman. Both were sent to prison, but Hansen thought her punishment was too harsh.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about my dad.
I have to lie when people ask me how my father died, because his story is just too awful to tell.
Life sentences were ruled unconstitutional for minors after Hansen's trial. The case was sent back to the judge for resentencing.
In 2015, Bray's sentence of life without parole was reduced to 26 years to life. Still a life sentence. So, wow, his family did it. Imagine that. It's just, I can't believe it. This is unprecedented. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. It means so much to me. You guys are great. As always, you guys are great. So yeah, here, listen, thank you, thanks again. Listen, next video, couple of days, so please look forward to that. But until I see you in the next video, or you hear from me in the podcast, that chapter podcast, whatever it is, take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Because I love you. Mike out.
Oh, man. And we love you too, Mike. Gotta let Mike know we love him too, man. But this one right here got a little just like fucking exhausting a little bit to me, man. Because of just his kids. They such asshole, lying ass, motherfucking crazy, just lunatic type. Like, they delusional with this shit, bro. They did this shit and the damn son Nathan, he acting like he ain't did nothing. The damn little girl acting like she don't give a fuck. Like they just so, I don't know, man. They were some characters, man. They just, long story short story long, y'all. They were just characters, bro. Like look at these two, bro. They don't care that they really killed this man. That's the vibe that I was getting off of them, and it just started to drain me. Never seen no remorse for real for what the fuck they did, man. And it's just so fucking sad as far as the father go, Tim, is the fact that he was not even a real father. That's why I said that earlier. I was like, man, I wish he messed up being a damn stepdaddy. For real. Then you got to think about he was one of the most #1 step daddy mamas of all time, just because of the simple fact that I can't remember the name of their mama, but the lady he was with died in 2006. He could have left them back then. He could have left Nathan and Bray back then after the mama died. He could have just left the whole situation. But he still continued to be a father to them two children. And look how they repaid him. Like, god damn, that's fucked up, man. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. R.I.P. to Tim McNeil, y'all. I ain't finna keep going, because y'all know how I keep going. Y'all just make sure y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, do all that, and come on back and watch another one with me again very soon, my friend. And until then, love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.